Oh, excuse a couple claps. That's for when we edit this for our podcast and we get our sound check right. So, just a second. Hey, I'm Daryl Cagle. Today we're drawing Donald Trump. Let's get going. Thanks for joining me. Another Donald Trump cartoon today. I think that's going to be the story for quite a while. Please feel free to chat. Please jump in. Please follow me on Twitch. I appreciate it. Don't be shy to chat. So, today's cartoon. This is basically the idea. I'm going to have a big, pregnant Republican elephant, and she's pregnant with a cross-section view of Donald Trump, and she says, I've changed my mind. Now I support late-term abortion. So, let's break down where she is here. Give her a little bit of lipstick. She's a female elephant, of course. So, hey, Bear Edwards, nice to see you here. Don't be shy about commenting. I'm just doing a very rough block to get her in position. I'm going to be sitting here for probably 4 or 5 hours doing this thing, so sit back and relax and enjoy me for the afternoon. So, blocking her out. She's speaking to the reader. I'm going to get their eyeballs right. Yeah, Republicans are abandoning all their highfalutin democracy in favor of what looks like pull out all the stops that stop Trump, which is fun. So that's basically what this is. We're abandoning our long-standing philosophy because it's more important to stop Trump. Okay, where she needs her feet to be about here, huh? She's pregnant. She should have thick ankles, huh? Oh, Bear Edwards, you're watching at work. Ha! Okay, I need to have enough belly area to draw a caricature of Trump inside. So let's move her. Move her trunk up a bit. Give me a little bit more belly to work with. And let's see. All right, the ear. As you might figure, I'm figuring all of this out as I do it. Nothing is planned ahead. I am running into all of the issues you would expect when you consider drawing something for the first time. So this is not a performance. This is reality of my sitting here and doing my work. All right, she needs speech balloon here. Says I changed my mind. She needs cross-section view of Trump in the belly. Maybe that's too much belly. So this arm go down more straight. I have another arm that I could be using here. Maybe it's more fun if her trunk comes down and rests on her belly. Haven't thought much about that. She needs a second speech balloon here. Work around that. So I changed my mind. So we're going to be editing these into 15-minute video podcasts, because I don't think most people want to sit and watch a video that's 6 hours long. And so we've been experimenting with speeding things up and editing. And it's amazing to see myself drawing at super speed. Because as you know from watching these podcasts, or watching the live stream here, I'm not that fast. I take my time figuring things out. I've got my Flint water today. More Flint in the news. Looks like we're dropping frames in the stream. Sorry about that. We get the best we can do. The stream's not that far behind today, though. Let's give her a pearl necklace. All right. Boob. Boob. There is where the belly will go. I think that works. That hand is wrong. Right here she says, okay, I changed my mind. Now I'm in favor of late term abortions. Let's give her an earring. Ha! Okay, so here is the belly. Where does the trunk go? The trunk's going to go wherever I have room for the trunk to go. So let's have it go like that. The reason is it's fitting between her belly and her speech balloon. There is not much room to have it do too crazy a trunk thing. I usually let the trunks kind of wiggle around wildly. Here, this trunk needs to have a little bit more fit in the space that you're allowed to fit in. If you hear some noise in the background, that's my neighbor building a house. I find it even more annoying than you do. Wonder if I should give her a print on her dress. To think about that. More room for a bigger boob over here. Okay, I think that's working. mouth looking right. Got it off to the side. I could make something more expressive happen with this hand. Let's think about that for a minute. Okay, so here, this is going to be a dotted line because it's a cross-section view into her elephant uterus. Go over here. You guys are so quiet. Come on, give me some comments. Darn loud house next door. Lipstick and lipstick. Bear Edwards writes, I love this concept. Guaranteed to make some heads explode. Yeah. People are sensitive about abortion jokes. Okay, the Donald. In case you're wondering, I'm looking at some Donald scrap in front of me on my monitor over here. When I'm through doing this drawing, you will switch to monitor view and you'll see me color it in Photoshop. So, what do I want to do with this arm? I've got space here. I could have her make a point. Her arm like that. That's probably better, isn't it? It looks like she's gesticulating. So let's do the gesticulating. I may give her a polka dot dress. I'll think about that while I'm doing the color. I don't think I'll do that in the line art. Well, maybe I will. Let's think about it. Flint! Alright, the Donald. I should probably bring up a page of fetuses, huh? He's got to have lots of Donald Trump hair. He is baby Trump. I haven't drawn a baby Trump before. He makes a pretty darn ugly baby. Alright, just that what I want the baby to look like. He's not looking too baby-like. face for his poof of hair. Excuse me a second here. There, that's better. Yeah, he just makes such an ugly baby. I think I am going to look at some fetus scrap. So let's try that. We'll bring up a new window, and this will be human fetus images. See what we get from that. Well, all right. This is a late-term abortion. I can't go with all these little zygotes. I think that probably looks okay. I'll look at that for a minute. He's looking unfetus-like in the respect that he has all of this hair, and he's got his adult features going on here, but I'm not quite sure how to get the likeness if I make him too much of a baby. Okay, arm, hand. I could have his hands folded. Legs up. I always want to show a little bit of butt wherever a cartoonist can show some butt. That's a cartooning success. I do butts and dogs, and his cheek is kind of big. I could put the arm up on his cheek. Will he have a suit and tie? No! He's in his birthday suit. Bear Edwards asks if he can have a suit and tie, and I said no. He is in his birthday suit. So this arm is here. You know, when you need an extra minute to think about something, draw something else that you know how to draw. I'm not quite sure about that Trump baby. I have to think about him a little bit. I'm going to erase and lighten him up and take another stab at it. Oh no, that makes me sound so pro-abortion. Taking a stab at the new fetus here. Okay. Little bit of a baby-shaped head helps him. I think I need to go really tiny on the body to make it make sense. Maybe the way to do it is to do the feet first. think that's working a little better. Have a bigger ear, smaller neck. He's got such small hands. Alright, let's think about that. I'm going to come in with a softer pencil and see if I can get this to look more to my liking. And he's not looking too baby-like. Excuse me here. Futzing with all my junk. That's a little, well, it brightens me up, doesn't it? Maybe that's better. I'm looking extra bright today. Trump. See, I procrastinate for little bits as I try to figure out something that I'm not quite happy with. Little bits of procrastination. Part of what makes a baby work is diminishing the chin, popping out the cheek. You need bigger eyes. Trump has a kind of a short nose, doesn't he? Babies have short noses, so let's emphasize that. This eye needs some work. It'll take a little bit of futzing back and forth here for me to get this to something that I'm satisfied with. Is that looking like Trump? Bear Edwards writes, how about a Reagan tattoo on Mama GOP's arm? You can tell me to shut up anytime. She does have space for a tattoo on her arm, but I'm afraid that would make the cartoon be all about her arm, and I don't really want you to look at it. I can give her a little vaccination scar and some freckles. Should she have a wedding ring? Sure, she's a good Republican. Let's give her a wedding ring. Oh, that's her right hand. That would be an engagement ring, huh? Okay. lace at the bottom of the dress. Belly goes there. I guess that's right. If the belly is here, I've got more room to play with the trunk, which can come down that way. Is that better? I'm not sure it is. That's why I'm the pro, writes Bear Edwards, about my rejection of his fine tattoo idea. Yeah, I remember back when I was in art school, Art Center College in Pasadena, I took a design class from a curmudgeonly old design teacher. And part of basic design is where does the eye go in your drawing, and in this case you want to read, and then draw down to trump as the gag. You read a gag from left to right, and so you want to build, and then give the punchline. But I recall the old design teacher arguing about how you can make a focal point in any composition by just putting a postage stamp anywhere on your art. And people are going to look first at the postage stamp, which is true. And that's the problem with the tattoo. It's a postage stamp that people will look at first. Flint. Okay. Feet on elephant. She's pregnant. She should have flat shoes, huh? So, for all you nice new people that are joining me here, please follow. I'm trying to build an audience for this, and that's a challenge, but I do appreciate the follows, and I do appreciate your participating in the chat, because it gives me stuff to talk about. It makes it interactive. So don't hesitate to chat, and please don't hesitate to follow. I do appreciate the follows. If I can make these live streams successful, I think I might have some influence on getting some other cartoonists to live stream as well. But it is a tough sell because it's a bunch of work, and likely a bunch of work you don't get paid for. So I've got to demonstrate some value here. That said, I do kind of enjoy doing this stuff live. It gets me to draw a little bit differently than I otherwise would. Usually I just have the TV blaring all the time, and I'm working on 3 or 4 projects at once. Oh, I got a nice new follow. Thank you. Oh, Comey. Very nice. I work on 3 or 4 things at once, and then I switch back and forth with them like I have ADHD. And doing this forces me to focus on one thing from start to finish. And I'm kind of thinking that makes me more efficient. Also, if I edit these into a podcast, I've got another product that shouldn't take any more of my time than drawing the cartoon I'm already drawing, that I'm committed to draw. So that is the... Well, sorry to lose you, Bear Edwards. Come back when you have a chance. Thanks for joining me. There he goes. I think I might make this dress polka dot. Okay, am I going to want to have a little bit of background crosshatch? What's my edge here? Edge is here. So background crosshatch could go like this. This is to make it not look too austere and get a little bit of popping out happening with the speech balloons. This speech balloon, I'm too tall. I need to come out this way a little bit, so I can have some crosshatch come out over here, move that over, and a little bit of crosshatch over here, move that over. I'm aiming for 1.5 wide by 1 tall, and I'm a little bit too tall, so I may stretch a little bit at the end. Okay, there's that. I'm going to make the boobs little so that they're not obscured by the cross section of her uterus. I think that's a sentence I've never said before in my life. I'm going to make her boobs smaller so as not to interfere with the cross section of her uterus. I wouldn't be surprised if I never utter that sentence again in my life. Okay. DarylKegel.com over here. Doing pretty well. 40 minutes to get pretty much to the end of the rough sketch. All right, I think I'm ready to go to finish on this one. Yep, this one might go pretty fast. Excuse me while I stand up and get my vellum. So this constitutes part 2 of the process. I'm going to do the final line work in pencil, but it will look like ink because I scan it at high resolution. And then I'm going to take a bit of a scanning break and I'll do the color version. So today's cartoon, again, in case you missed it, is Republican elephant who is pregnant with Donald Trump. She says, "I changed my mind. Now I'm in favor of late-term abortions." And as Bear Edwards pointed out, yeah, this should make some people mad, but that's just because anything that you mention abortion in gets some angry email. There's nothing you can say about abortion that doesn't get some angry email. All right, I think she is laid out. I usually start with the lettering because that warms up my hand, and because you always want to do the lettering before you draw the balloon around it, because you're never quite sure how the lettering's going to go. Now I'm in favor of so yeah, tell your friends, get people to follow, and I do appreciate your support. I see people coming and going. I'm just trying to make the lettering look a little bit more rich, adding a little bit of thickening and second lines on here. Sometimes I switch between upper and lower case when there is a chance to nest the letters together in a way that looks a little cartoony, artful. Guess I need a hyphen here. That T can lean over the hyphen. I do actually think about all these things as I'm lettering. I like to nest the lowercase e next to a letter that's very blocky, as opposed to the block capital E. So that's cartoonist kerning. So you see I can nest the T over the R and the I here. Get that to look a little tighter. One of the big mistakes that I see amateur and aspiring cartoonists make is using computer fonts for all their lettering, because that just kills the life of a drawing. You know, the big reason that people care about original cartoons, that we don't just live in a world full of memes, is that you want to see what comes out of a guy's hand. There's something cool about the nature of getting to know the way someone thinks graphically. And when you go to the computer fonts, you lose a lot of that, and it dulls it down, and it makes it into something that's unremarkable in the respect that anybody does computer fonts. The point of being a cartoonist is to be a graphic voice and let people enjoy what comes out of your hand. Otherwise, you're a writer. A friggin' writer. Alright, let's do her trunk. I draw from upper right to left just because I'm left-handed and I don't want to keep dragging my hand through the pencil. And I start with the lettering wherever I can, within the construct of starting on the right, because drag dragging my hand through the pencil, left-handed. So tomorrow I'm giving a speech in Burbank to a convention of junior college student newspaper editors and their advisors, which should be interesting. I am much troubled to see the decline in college newspapers. We're just seeing them disappear. Not so much seeing the real newspapers disappear as shrink and suffer, but boy, we're seeing the college newspapers disappear. Kids just don't want to read the college newspaper. They don't want to read the college newspaper website either, and that's terrible. And even more than the decline in college newspapers, we're seeing a further decline in student editorial cartoonists who work for college papers. I don't think colleges have ever been particularly friendly to the idea of editorial cartoonists. That may be for reasons of word people being uncomfortable with graphics. You know, the famous old quote from New York Times editor. New York Times would never have a staff cartoonist because we would never give so much power to one man. The other famous quote from the New York Times is, we would never have an editorial cartoonist because you can't edit an editorial cartoonist like you can a columnist. And the word people do get nervous about the graphics people that they can't edit, particularly in times when people are much more inclined to be intolerant of views that they disagree with. This cartoon probably being a likely example, something that a college newspaper would choose to avoid. So, when I give my talk at the conference tomorrow, I'm going to give them a stern talking to about where their cartooning values should be. Ah, the lipstick. Lipstick is, I think, a large part that makes her look fun. I want to make sure the lipstick goes all the way around her mouth. A little bit of shade under her lip. Yeah, I think colleges are, in general, very unfriendly to cartooning. It is rare to see colleges that teach classes in cartooning. It's rare to see college journalism programs even discuss editorial cartooning. I don't think an American university has ever hired a working editorial cartoonist as a professor, even though they teach illustration and they teach commercial art and they teach journalism, but you're not going to see them have an editorial cartoonist who teaches anything. You also don't see scholars at universities studying editorial cartoons. Rare to see them study editorial cartoons. I think every time they do, they contact me because I'm easy to find on the internet. and I get another ridiculous email. So-and-so doing their dissertation on editorial cartoons. Please answer these questions for me. The questions are always, count how many liberal cartoons there are and how many conservative cartoons there are. I'm making a chart. I want to see if there's been a change in the number of liberal and conservative editorial cartoons over this period of time. I need to classify them. And then I will count. And then I will create a mathematical theory. I don't know how many times I've seen somebody send me an email asking for that kind of information for their dissertation. Sometimes they do a little more creative dissertations. I remember one guy was doing his dissertation on metaphors to the Wizard of Oz in editorial cartoons. But then again, he was counting. How many metaphors to the Wizard of Oz have we seen in editorial cartoons? In this date to this date. Let's do a graph and a chart and we will analyze. It's ridiculous. So at a time when editorial cartooning is more important than any time ever, I think, and people should realize that because of all the murders and riots and conflagrations around the world where editorial cartoons are more important than they are in the United States. We've got academics who continue to not get it. So academia not friendly to editorial cartoonists. Interestingly too, that is true in social studies and in education departments. You know, editorial cartoons are on state mandated AP testing in 8th and 11th grade in every state in the United States. And that is not enough to get schools of education in colleges to teach about editorial cartoons, even though the teachers are required to teach the test. In the colleges that train the teachers, nah, doesn't make any difference. Cartoons make them nervous, I think. There's her string of pearls. That's looking kind of cute. I think the top of her nose crosshatch needs a little bit of rethinking. So considering we're going to edit these down into regular podcasts, I'm going to try to do a few rants like that once in a while that might survive the edit. It's a severe edit, you know. 5 hours drawing a cartoon goes down to 15-minute iPod video. Okay, this is moving along pretty fast. I might get done with this pretty fast. Ah, hello, Huetoons. Nice to hear from you. Huetoons writes, not so much that they don't get it, they simply do not care. Editorial political cartoons is just a means to an end, an easily related and counted statistic to them. It is true, they don't care. What's interesting, though, is that these journalism schools that are stuffed full of word people that don't feel comfortable with cartoons, they have journalists in residence programs. They have they value what journalists who are writers do, but that's where you draw the line, huh? Writers. Short-sighted bastards. What's ironic, too, is that when columnists lose their job in government, you know, when we go from Democrats to Republicans and all the jobs in Washington are divvied up, and one party's guys are out on the hustings, they go get jobs in think tanks and academia. columnists, when they get laid off from newspapers, go work for the journalism schools. They teach classes. They get the professor's job, but not editorial cartoonists who are laid off, who you would think would be welcomed into at least commercial art departments at colleges. They are not, because college art teachers are their own profession, without regard to people who actually are published and have an influence on the world. Your qualifications for being a college art professor are that you have teaching experience, unlike the columnists whose writing experience they value. So, from my perspective, not much value to academia for editorial cartoonists. Another irony with academia is how they claim to value publishing, but they don't value real publishing. You know, you can be syndicated to hundreds of newspapers and more published than anybody on the faculty, but it's not the kind of publishing they're interested in. They want academic publishing, this real world applied kind of being published. Nah, that doesn't interest them. They want something that nobody's going to read, that's dull, written for other academics. The idea of publishing in academia is just a matter of speaking within your tiny elite group, not having an impact on the world. And you know what all those guys in their tiny elite groups talk about? How can what we talk about be an impact on the world? They don't get the irony of the fact that they've excluded impact on the world from the conversation before they even started talking. So I've had it with academia. That said, I'm giving this talk tomorrow at the community college journalism convention. You would think in community colleges they would have a little more sense of value of real publishing and impact on the world, but I think that they're driven by the same kind of academic groupthink as the other guys at the universities. They did invite me to be the keynote speaker at their conference, though. Take a little bit of acceptance whenever it comes. So, except for Waytoons here, you guys are being pretty quiet. I think I may give her a polka dot dress when I color this, but I think it's going to be too complex to do that in the line art. Another thing to keep in mind as you're drawing is you want to spin the paper around and orient the way you draw things so that you are taking advantage of the natural arc of your fingers and your wrist and your whole arm, because that's what drawing is all about. It's going with the natural arc what your anatomy wants to do. That's why all of the spinning, because I'm spinning things around to the point where I get the natural arc for my hand for the next lines that I'm deciding to do as I spin. Give her a little bit of eyelid there. So if you're coming in lately and you haven't seen me before, please do follow. I do appreciate follows. Trying to build an audience here, and I appreciate you coming by. One thing I like to do is come up to the ends of my crosshatch lines and thicken them a bit. That gives it more of the illusion of being an ink drawing. And in the background you probably hear my noisy neighbors building a house. Alright, her ear needs to come out. I was doing a little too much hair and not enough ear here. Got a big elephant ear. Let me give her an earring. Elephant earring's kind of funny. I might want to futz around with her hair up there a little bit. Looking a little bit awkward. So again, folks, I do appreciate the follows. Please do follow. All right. Bear Edwards writes, any feedback from your peers on this streaming experiment? When we talk about it, I get the same questions, which are, how do you make money from that? And what are you doing that for? And the ones that work for newspapers, they have a lot of pressure from management to do video projects. So some guys will go out on the street, you know, cartoonist on the street interview, might do a video commentary or something, but some of them try to do animations, and they hate it because they're not getting paid anything more for it, but the newspaper's demanding it. Oh, young people want a day nowadays, they want to watch things on their phones. We need to be relevant to the young people. And we don't want to pay you anymore, but we want you to do more work. So I think the initial reaction among the other cartoonists is going to be, I don't want to do any more work. What does this do for me? So don't have a good answer to that yet. Got to demonstrate some kind of success. And editing these into 15-minute podcasts seems like a good direction to go. Okay. Vinpa, you sent an interesting chat there. I'm not quite sure I understand that. I don't know what you're talking about, Vinpa, but I know I want you to follow, so come follow me. Bear Edwards writes, well, I'm glad you're doing it and hope it's successful so more will join in. Ah! You know, I would love to have a window open on my screen where I can look at the desktops of a whole bunch of editorial cartoonists who I'm an admirer of. And I do feel a little bit like they would be encouraged if they're not trailblazers. They can see that there's a path to success that someone else has laid out. So it remains to be seen if that's possible. Webtoons writes, that is a picture of Adolf Hitler with swastikas, Daryl. What Vinpa posted, that is. Well, I don't get it. Why do you post that? I think this hair is not looking right. She needs the ear to go in front of almost all of the hair. I'll give her a little bit of wisp in front of the ear, but by and large, Webtoons writes, because you want to be a hateful internet troll, meaning that's why Vinpa posted Adolf Hitler. I don't know, I don't quite get it. it is interesting to me how often and frequently the political discussions turn to Hitler, particularly among the international cartoonists. It's Menlico writes Trump for Prez. I tell you, I've got to be one of the least anti-Trump cartoonists. It's hard to find a cartoonist who is not anti-Trump. And the reason for that, the reason why I'm not so anti-Trump, is that I like his isolationism. I like the idea that he says, I don't want to get involved in Syria, let Putin have all of that. That drives the neocons crazy. And that's good. I also like it that he's not a religious nut. He seems to be religiously quite moderate, reasonable, and fairly secular. And the religious ones, the crazy evangelicals, I think people around the world don't understand how motivated they are to speed up the apocalypse and bring back Jesus Christ. I recall George W. Bush talking to German Chancellor Angela Merkel, saying, yeah, we're invading Iraq. We're going to speed up the apocalypse. We want to get second coming of Jesus Christ, doing our part. She was horrified. It made news for a while. But the media doesn't like to pick up on how motivated these religious neocons are to bring back Jesus Christ. And I think that's pretty scary stuff. So among the Republicans, I think Trump was probably the most unlikely to be motivated to bring back Jesus Christ. That makes me like him, as opposed to a Ted Cruz. So he says intolerant things, but if he keeps us out of wars, I'll vote for him, even though he says things I don't like. That said, I'm going to vote for Bernie Sanders. But if it's Trump versus Hillary, I'm going to vote for Trump. If it's Trump versus Bernie Sanders, I would vote for Bernie Sanders. I hear these pundits on TV talking about how crazy it is that independents like me, could consider both Trump and Sanders. I don't think that's crazy one bit. It makes absolute sense. They both want to throw the Wall Street crooks into prison. They both want to stay out of wars in the Middle East or in other places. And frankly, those are the two most important issues to me. And I'm not seeing that in Hillary Clinton or the other Republican candidates. So that is the explanation of where I am with Trump. Why I don't draw Trump as Hitler like so many of the cartoonists around the world seem obsessed to do. Not long ago, I did a speaking trip to the Ukraine, and all around Kiev they have these little kiosks where old people sell their memorabilia. Their memorabilia being Nazi memorabilia from when Ukraine was occupied by the Nazis, and communist memorabilia from their years in the Soviet Union. And there are all these cute little things, pins, Nazi pins, communist pins. So I'm going around shopping at these things and buying some funny communist memorabilia. And, you know, little hammers and sickles and Lenins. They've got baby Lenin pins that the kids would, school kids would wear. Baby Lenin. Anyway, the Ukrainian cartoonists who would walk around with me would say, "Why do you buy these communist things? You don't buy the Nazi things." And I said, "Well, I can wear communist pins and things in America, and it's kind of funny. But if I wore Nazi pins in America, people would really think I'm a Nazi. Nazis are murderous monsters." And you know, the Ukrainian cartoonists would say, "Communists kill 20 million people. They are just as bad as Nazis, worse than Nazis." And what am I going to say? I can wear a communist t-shirt. People go, I wear a Nazi t-shirt. Yipes. That carries all kinds of nasty messages that I would not want to convey. So, communists kill 20 million people, just as bad as Nazis, worse than Nazis. You know, I've kind of been developing the skill of talking to myself. Sometimes I need to very aggressively talk to myself because you guys don't say anything. See my number of viewers bump up and down. People come and go. Maybe talking about Ukraine and Nazis sends them away. Anyway, if you're here and you're new and you're watching, come follow me. I appreciate the follows. Yeah, I'm still not quite happy with her hair. Think about it for a minute. Now, where do I want her little speech arrow to be? Do I want it to come over that way? I think I do. I'm not sure I'm happy with this hand. Maybe it's just this thumb that looks uncomfortable. Notice that I'm procrastinating on doing Trump. I think those fingernails were not a good idea. That's a little better. Now I can have a little bit of thumb going on. Yeah, I think that works. see the table is not quite flat, huh? All right, Trump. Bear Edwards writes, anything you don't like to draw? Crowds, horses, bears, riding unicycles? I don't like to draw crowds. That's one reason I stopped being an illustrator. It was turning out that every job wanted to be a crowd scene. Art directors will get into a meeting with all the creative people, and they'll have so many ideas, they don't know how to fit it all into the art, so they say, let's hire a cartoonist to draw a crowd scene. And that was a large percentage of the work I was getting. And you know, not only are crowd scenes a pain in the butt and take forever, and don't pay any more than if you weren't drawing a crowd scene, you're drawing a normal cartoon, but they're lousy cartoons. Better cartoons have bigger, more expressive characters in them. Filling them with little characters, the Where's Waldo scene. Boy, when Where's Waldo came out, I got all these jobs from people who wanted to do their own versions of Where's Waldo. Typically jobs I turned down. Thicken these up just a little bit. Okay, Donald, let's see if we can get you looking like both a baby and a Donald. Which is a kind of a challenge. His eyes have a little bit of turn up to the edges that I think most cartoonists don't quite get. That's looking a little bit Trumpy. Not sure I've quite got him, but I think the problem is more making him a baby once I've got the Trumpiness. So all you people that come and go, be sure you follow before you leave. Haven't had a follow for an hour. I've been drawing for an hour and 24 minutes so far. Yeah, I think that Trump works. Alright, let's see what I can do on his hair. Then I'm going to treat it like a speech balloon and draw the limits of her uterus after I've drawn what's inside. Make the uterus fit the baby. I think his hair, you would think that's the easiest thing to draw, but it's kind of hard. I think a lot of artists don't do it well because it's so wispy. It doesn't lend itself to lines. You kind of want to draw it with an airbrush as a cloud. So I try to use extra light lines. Flint. Okay, I think I've got Trump looking okay. Give a little bit of dark under his nose. Bear Edwards writes, "The Limits of Her Uterus" is a good brand name. Okay, there's his little Trump butt. So, come on, folks. Quite a few of you lurking there. Come give me a follow. Okay, baby hand. Finger, finger, finger. Finger, finger, finger. Little bit of neck shadow. If this comes up too complicated, I'm going to need to put grayscale in it to define the complicated parts. Okay, there's the baby foot. Alright, now he needs another baby foot. Okay, I think that works. I'm not sure that foot is good. I might come in and redo it. It looks casual. That's good. Part of what you look to achieve in throwing things over like this is to make it look like it was easy and casual. Okay. Tell you what, folks, I have got to take a 5-minute break here. I'm going to be back in 5 minutes. Don't go away. Okay, here I am. I'm back. Thanks to all of you who hung around. Finished my potty break. Got a brand new glass of Flint water. Ready to keep going on this. If you stuck around, follow. I return refreshed and invigorated. I get a lot of people asking me, boy, you must be really busy with this election season. And I gotta laugh because, you know, there's one editorial cartoon hole in the newspaper that they want to fill every day. And if it's interesting times full of election news, they've still got one editorial cartoon hole to fill in the newspaper. It's not like they print any more editorial cartoons in an election year. So no, I'm not any busier than usual. I draw the same number of cartoons. Newspapers use the same number of cartoons. I hear from editors the same rate. It is not a busy time. It is as busy as it always is. Alright, let's draw a dotted line. This is the uterine wall dotted line. Look, a little bit of hair goes outside of the uterus. What the hell? Dotted line. The dotted line is Kamakana for, we're taking an X-ray view here. Look through at something that you couldn't see. Come on, people. You must have something you want to say. Maybe you're a nutty foreigner who just wants to say Trump is Hitler. Hitler was no isolationist. Those neocons want to meddle in everything in the world. Those are the ones that are freaking out about Trump. Those are all the guys we're hearing about plotting to steal it away from him at the convention. I have no sympathy for neocons. Oh, Trump needs an umbilical cord, doesn't he? Where would that go? I hadn't thought about that. You know, this foot is awkward. All right. Toe, 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 toe. That's a little bit better. You can have a little bit of background shading too. Yes, I just let my thoughts flow out of my mouth. So you hear what's in my brain. So, where is the light source inside the uterus? I think of light sources I'm drawing, and I think about it in terms of the thickness of the lines. I want the lines opposite the light source to be darker. Okay, I think that's looking kind of right. A little bit of dress crosshatch. Bear Edwards writes, perhaps the light comes from Donnie's fake tan glow. Yes, the Donald is very orange. Okay. If you wonder what's going on over at the side, I've got a piece of sandpaper over there, and I'm occasionally putting a chisel point on my pencil. This is lace at the bottom of her dress. I could have lace on the edge of her sleeve. Do I want to do that? I've been drawing on this an hour and 44 minutes. And you know, it's going to take another 45 minutes to color it. And I'm going to probably be drawing on it another 15 minutes. Victoria 7, nice to see you here. I'm getting some regulars, that's nice. Let's give this a little more thickness. right, the shoes. Give her little pom-pom socks. Just standard tennis shoe stuff, the way I draw tennis shoes. Tennis shoe number 2. So a minute ago, Bear Edwards was asking what I don't like to draw, and I started talking about crowd scenes. But there are lots of subjects I don't like to draw rather than particular things. Particular things I don't like to draw. Don't like to draw a whole cartoon full of crowd or caricatures, or something that demands correct perspective. I like to just comfortably freehand things. But more importantly, things I don't like to draw are subject matters, crime and the weather and celebrities. Any issue that I don't care about. Cartoons about subjects you don't care about tend to be lousy cartoons. That's probably all she needs for shoes. I'm used to doing business shoes or wingtips or things that are dark or black shoes. She can have pink shoes. You know, it might be kind of funny to make her uterus very orange, full of orange baby. Edward's right. So your perfect storm would be a Kardashian jaywalking in a blizzard. I should say editors love cartoons about the weather and about celebrities and about holidays. Holiday marking cartoons. I think if Hallmark was an editorial cartoonist, they'd be the most popular, most reprinted editorial cartoons ever, because editors like for editorial cartoons to be little greeting cards with a nice little sentiment. Some cartoonists resist giving editors what they want. Some cartoonists jump to give editors what they want. We've got a new cartoonist in our KegelCartoons.com group, Dave Granlund, who's probably the best at giving editors what they want. He draws a holiday cartoon every holiday. Am I done with the line art? Is this all that it will be? Here's the cartoon. I think I'm just about to oh, I didn't give her any vaccination mark. That's a vaccination mark. She needs a little more detail going on in her big fat elephant forearm, upper arm. So, Spidey Imph. I can't tell what you're saying, but I know I need you to follow. You're an enigma. You know, that's just looking too nasty. Getting back to that postage stamp thing. Now let's give this little bit of lace a little bit of shade. So hopefully we'll have the podcast going soon, and the podcast will be 15 minutes long, so you won't have to wait forever to see me spend hours finishing a cartoon. I guess it does take too long. Kind of unreasonable to sit around for 5 hours with a cartoon. But that's the story of my life. Okay. This is it. I'm going to do color. So, folks, what's going to happen here is I'm going to take... let's say, a 15-minute scanning break. Then I'm going to come back and color this puppy in Photoshop once I've got the scans in the computer. Let's see, am I happy with the drawing? I can still futz with the hair. Okay, I'm off to the scanner. So yeah, keep finding an extra little thing to futz with. I think that's good. Alrighty. Off to the scanner I go. So I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes. I may come back a little bit earlier if I finish it in less than 15 minutes, but it's been taking me about that long to get my scans done. Keep finding little things to futz with. A little bit more shadow under the dress. A little bit more plane of her chest behind her boobs, her elephant boobs. Yeah, this is it. Ready for the scanner. Okay, I'm off to the scanner, folks, and I will be back in 15 minutes. Don't go away. You'll see all of the exciting coloring action. Okay, I think I'll come back. You can see that I'm just assembling this from the scanner. It took 3 pieces to scan it. Oh, I actually gained people while I had the timer up. What the hell? Okay, let's flop that. Let's go to left. Make this grayscale. Okay. And grab that. This is just, this is going to be a bit of house cleaning stuff for a while. Width 17, height 14, that'll make it big. Move her over there. Now let's go for the right side. All copy, left. So what I'm doing is just placing this, hello Renegade 419. Are you new here or are you a regular? What I'm doing now is I'm just placing the 3 pieces that I got from the scanner when I scanned this, and then I have to place them in just the right spot. And pretty close. Oops. That was what I was looking for. The little fine control. That's kind of looking like I'm in the right spot, I think. Okay, now I'll, Renegade writes, no, I came in when you were doing like the Putin and Kim Jong-un with all the leaders, but haven't been able to catch you since. The Phoebe, nice to see you there. Yeah, only 15 viewers here. I don't know what to do about that. Oh, that didn't work. Let's try this. That works. Yeah, I just keep plugging away. Whether it works or not. But nice to see you here, Phoebe. Okay, now I need the top of her head. Let's grab that. Just assembling things. Yeah, the Phoebe recommends that I keep a regular schedule. I know I should, but that's a lifestyle concession to make. Okay. All right, here's the abortion elephant. Now I need to grab just the part I want, which should be about from here. Down just a skosh. Oh, it wasn't wide enough. Right there. To there. flatten and unlock. Copy. No red ties. Twitch title still says strong Trump. Good to be catching up with your effort. Phoebe writes, I need to look into YouTube archiving as well. I have been YouTube archiving. And I found that it's better for me to record onto my computer and upload that rather than use the Twitch function for moving things over to YouTube, because I find that I get the lost frames and errors from the stream in the Twitch recording, but if I upload the one I do on my computer, then I don't have all those problems. Okay. Copy, new, return, paste. There we go. Now let's give it a shot of more contrast. Get it to look like I drew this in ink. Ah, the Phoebe, you gave me 2 viewers. That's very nice. Okay. Contrast 100. Brightness. Let's turn it down a little bit. Thicken it up a bit. Minus 54. That's a lot. Well, thanks a lot, Phoebe. I appreciate it. Okay, let's flatten, unlock, give it another shot of contrast here. You would think that turning it up to 100% contrast would actually make it 100% contrast. Renegade, nice to see you here. But it doesn't, you know. 100% contrast does not mean 100% contrast. It means, oh, do a little bit more contrast. Oh, you like this cartoon? Okay, that's looking just about ready for me to start cleaning up all the hickeys. Give it another shot of contrast here. Oh, of course, now it needs to stop and think and spin its friggin' wheel. Think, think, think. Wait, wait, wait. I don't know what it does when it does this stuff. My Flint water. Come on. Think forever. I'm using old Photoshop CS4. Renegade writes, just because I love elephant women, not because I hate Trump or anything. You know, it really isn't fair that editorial cartoonists tend to draw most characters and as male. We just do, but if you draw one as a female, then everybody will say, why is she a woman? What are you saying about women? And if you use a woman generically, you're screwed. You can't do that. It just raises the question of why you're drawing a woman. So so you draw men all the time just because. Let's see, image size 1000, width 8, height. Let's make it 6. That's not. Okay, let's make it 6.25. That's getting close to the ratio I need. The Phoebe writes, I adore the gravity-defying forms of the breasts. Every damn thing is amazing about this. Oh yeah, the eggshells have to be walked on, writes Renegade 419. Yeah, this breast here is much bigger than this breast, which I haven't put any thought into. All right, now let's make this bitmap flatten the layers, 50%. Then I'll need to save it. Now I have to come in and clean up all the hickeys, which is just the nature of what you do as an artist. You know, you got to do your housekeeping. Phoebe writes, Daryl, do you visit any conventions? I'd love to try to make it one and meet you someday. I'm going to a convention tomorrow. I'm the keynote speaker at the convention of junior college newspapers in Burbank. And I don't think I have any other speaking engagements planned. I'll be at the National Cartoonist Society's convention Memorial Day weekend in Memphis, and that's a good one. Phoebe, you're a cartoonist. Just call yourself a cartoonist and go to the National Cartoonist Society convention. It's great. It's a wonderful party. You should do it. That's my favorite convention. Then in the fall, I'll go to probably go to the Association of American Editorial Cartoonists convention, which is much more narrowly focused than National Cartoonist Society. National Cartoonist Society, you'll see lots of cartoon illustrators and people that are not quite so specialized in what I do. And it's better fit for you, I think, Phoebe. It's also more of a party, and the editorial cartoonists can be a bit backstabbing and kind of like a wake. Yeah, Phoebe, go to ruben.org, RUBEN.org. The NCS is great. It's in Memphis this year. They're going to do Memphis party stuff. They've got a thing where the cartoonists go to St. Jude Medical Center and draw for the sick kids, which is nice. And there's lots of drinking and partying and karaoke. I'm not a fan of the karaoke, but it just seems like you put a bunch of cartoonists together and they drink and do the karaoke. I never quite understood the appeal of karaoke to cartoonists, but I can't deny its reality. It's disturbing reality. I haven't noticed karaoke among the editorial cartoonists, though. Too much commiserating about the newspaper industry and professional jealousy and backstabbing. That takes away from the karaoke atmosphere. Oh, the National Cartoonist Society is also going to have a party at Graceland, which sounds like fun. They are party animals. I don't know that they put all the convention info on their website because it's private. There was one convention I went to back in the 80s. I've been going to it for like 35 years. Which you would never guess because I'm so young looking. But in fact, I am not young. So, I've been going to it for about 35 years. I forget what point I was going to make. And then I often go to the editorial cartoonist conventions in France. There are two that I go to. One is in Cannes, which is not the Cannes of the film festival, but Cannes like in Normandy, where they have the memorial for the D-Day invasion. And it's at the memorial for the D-Day invasion that that they have this big cartooning convention, which is a big, nice function that the D-Day Museum supports. And there's a new French cartooning foundation called Sketch Freedom that I like. You can go to sketchfreedom.org. I'm on their board of directors. And they're really very nice, and they put on a wonderful convention. Cartoonists from around the world. And then the other wonderful one is in a little town called Saint-Just-le-Martel, which is the Saint Just the Hammer. And this is a town that has just dedicated itself to editorial cartoons. And the town built this municipal cartoon museum, which is just fantastic. A little town just does this. And the people in the town all come out and support the Cartoonist Festival, and they do the cooking. The ladies from town do the cooking, and there's not enough hotels around for everybody, so the people in town put you up in their house, and the cartoonists will adopt a French family in Saint-Just, and they'll stay with the same family year after year after year. You develop these great friendships there, and it's just fantastic to see a place where what we do is so honored and appreciated. It's where I got to know a couple of the cartoonists that were murdered in the Charlie Hebdo shooting, which is very disturbing. And they were great guys, and they came to all the cartoonist meetings, and everybody knew them, and they are sorely missed. One of these cartoonists, a French giant of a cartoonist, Georges Wilinski, was a regular at Saint-Just, notable for very vigorously encouraging my wife to drink more, which is a recurring theme there. And they built a lovely monument for Georges Wilinski, which is they took his studio from Paris, from the Left Bank in Paris, and they try looking up Sketch Freedom. Maybe I got the URL a little bit wrong. Maybe it's got a hyphen, or it's not .org. But Sketch Freedom is a good one. If you can't find it, I'll pull up a window and I'll find it for you now. Oh, what was I saying? Saint-Just. So they built his studio in Saint-Just, and it's encased in glass, and it's got all the original stuff in there from his real studio. His wife came in and arranged things so it looks like it's just the way he left it. And they took a picture across the street, and they have photographs of the other side of the street lit so it looks like you're looking at it through his windows in his studio. And it's just lovely. And he was a lovely guy. They dedicated the whole museum to the Charlie Hebdo guys at the last convention, and had a grand big show of theirs, and it was nice. And they give a grand prize award every year, which is a cow. This is out in the sticks where they have cows. Actually, I think this is right. I think I've just cleaned the whole thing up and I'm ready to color. So let me change my mind set here from talking about Saint-Just. Oh, anyway, the cow is great. Last year they gave the cow for a second time to cartoonist Coco, who was you know, the one who famously suffered in the Charlie Hebdo attacks. She was the one that the gunman came to and forced to open the door. Very disturbing and troubling for her, and she's just a delightful, nice person. And so lots of angst and lots of caring about cartoonists that we don't see in the United States, where cartoons are trivialized and overlooked. But you know, editorial cartoons are more important around the world now than ever before, and I think around the world people realize that. But in the United States, we're behind the curve on all that, and that's really very disappointing. So Saint-Just, I think, is my favorite convention, just because of the warmth and the recurring friends, the support of the town. It's just lovely. Okay, let's see. Oh, and they have an open bar for 3 days. Well, actually, it's a long convention. They have 2 weekends. The first weekend is they call it humor tendre, tender humor, and that's for things like children's book illustrators and such. And then the second weekend is humor vache, which is cow humor, which in French is an idiom that means, which is sounds like amour vache, which is like love cow. Phoebe writes, it wasn't either. No worries. I think I found it. Cartoon Movement blog. No, not Cartoon Movement blog. Let me find this for you. Bring up a window. Oh, I shouldn't do that. Let me drop that. Here. So, see if I can find it this way. Kianush is the guy that puts it on. I thought I might see a link at his site. He should have a link right here, and I'm not seeing it. Alright. Let's go take another look. Phoebe, I think the best thing for you to do is the NCS in Memphis. Freedom Sketch. That's not it. Why am I not finding this easily? This is the guy who runs it, Kianush Ramazani. Let's go to his Facebook page. He should have a link there. Sorry, I just don't remember these things that well. Nope, I'm not finding it. I shouldn't be searching for this stuff. I should be doing my cartoon. Sketchfreedom.org. Alright. Yeah. I'm just not I didn't write it down, so what can I say? try this. Oh well, I'll have to look it up later. Sorry about that. Renegade 419 writes, yeah, I'm still trying to find my style, learn more. I did finish this portrait last night, and the hair came out really nice. I want to create a lot of things like Phoebe and you. Phoebe writes, yeah, please don't let me distract you from your work. Sorry about that. I will look up the URL, and I'll post it. Okay, back to coloring. So I'm going to... This one is line art. Let's save as 400 DPI CMYK. No, it's not Cartoon Movement. That's another group. But the guy, Cheer Droyards, who runs Cartoon Movement, is in Cartoon Freedom. So he might have a link for it there. So let's make this grayscale, and then no, Cartoon Movement is not it, Bear Edwards. And let's make this CMYK. Then let's add some more. Add some more layers here. Bring that up to, oh, it's locked. Unlock. Bring that up to the top. Now, I need to select the black in here, and the black is going to be this bunch of crap, 75, 68, 67, 90. What the bloody hell? Why does Photoshop not make black black? So let's select that color range. And now I'm going to make the black real black. 0, 0, 0, 100. I'm going to take that out, because Photoshop is very resistant to 100% black. And then I will fill with 100% black, and we'll see if it worked. It might have worked. Let's check it. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It worked! Haha, on the first try. Sometimes Photoshop will put up a fight for a long time. Alright, let's select the inverse and delete the white. And now I will go down to the bottom layer. Sometimes it also likes to make the white not entirely white. And it's looking entirely white, so we will fill with 100% white. And now let's check to make sure that it is 100% white, because sometimes it wants to go 1111, and I don't know why it does that. And that's just terrible. It creates this haze that goes all over the cartoon if I don't see it in time. I've done cartoons that have gone out with that Photoshop 1111, and it just looks, the whole darn cartoon is dirty, and I wouldn't have seen it on my screen because it's too subtle to show up on the screen. It shows up in print though. Okay. Now let's make it 400 DPI. Well, the big conventions for cartoonists are the Comic-Cons, like San Diego Comic-Con, which I used to go to all the time. And I like the Comic-Cons, but I don't really fit at the Comic-Cons. They're not about editorial cartoons. They're very much about comics and sci-fi and TV. And aside from meeting my buddies there's not much for me to do there. Okay. What color do I want this to be? I think I'm gonna give her pink or purple polka dots. I like to make the elephants purple, so I could give her a yellow dress. I want the trump to be kind of yellow and orange. I guess I'm kind of safe with blue. So let's go 30 and 8. And lay in a little bit of background. Just a little bit. Keep in mind that when I put in a little bit of light blue in the newspaper, that's going to print pretty darn dark. Phoebe writes, San Diego Comic-Con has migrated to movies a bit much for my taste. We won the Eisner last time we went there, so I can't expect to go back and have a better experience. What category did you win in the Eisner, Phoebe? The Eisner is nice. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of texture into my background. Let's make that white opacity 100. Bump that up. Just soften the edges. I find that softening the edges with this hard pattern is great for newspapers because very often the light colors will turn to a gray fudge, and but if you have a hard white edge in a texture, you don't get the haze from the poor printing. Let's go with a little bit of light blue. No red ties rights. Color not showing on screen. Oh, you need to adjust your settings. It's showing on my screen. Light that up a little bit. I'll put that on another layer. Give it a little bit of blue happening down there. Yeah, Comic-Con just, I went when my kids were little, and I went in years when I had a book. And it's fun to, I would sit at the National Cartoonist Society table and sell my book, and that was nice, to chat with my friends the whole weekend. But if I don't have a table to sell a book, I walk the floor, I go to some things, and then I'm just, what am I going to do? I don't fit. Phoebe writes, truly not that impressive. We won for the, what's it called? No, Eisner is great. We won the anthology, Eisner and Hugo. So I think that's very impressive. Eisner and Hugo is cool. Back when I was president of the National Cartoonist Society, one of the great perks of that is you get to pick who sits at what table at the banquet. And I sat Will Eisner at my table when I was president. I sat Will Eisner there, and Jeff McNelly and Jack Davis, all sitting at my table. My heroes. Hello, Cream. Nice to see you here. So, Helluff, you need to follow. I do need the follows. Okay, now I think I will lay in the particular colors that I know I need to lay in. So, let's do that. I was going to give her, I need to make the Trump orange. I know I need to make him flesh-colored baby, so let's do that. Call that Trump flesh. And that'll be 3, 22, 22. That looks like good Trump flesh. Oh, Bad Bones 6 needs a reason to follow before he hits the button. Well, I can't argue with that. Phoebe, I think you're great. Don't diminish yourself. I'm sure what you did was great. So when I put in flesh tones, I'm putting in a middle tone. I'm going to give him a little bit of light and a little bit of dark in this flesh. And then probably that's it. A little light, little dark, and probably a little bit of pink on his butt and his cheeks. Then he shall be the fleshy Trump baby. When I do the color, I don't know what color I'm going to color things. So once I do that background color, I come back and color the things where I know what colors I want to make them. And then the other colors just kind of fall into line because you made those decisions that you had to make first, and that makes the later decisions something more easily made. Now I like to make the elephants purple. One reason is that purple grays down a little bit in, let's go with 18 and 20, 0. It's a good elephant color. So I'll just lay this in flat. And I'll do the same thing. Lighter and darker from the middle tone. And she needs some good pink lipstick, huh? Bright, sitting next to your heroes like that, amazing. I love meeting my heroes, especially when they turn out to be super warm, friendly. Meeting Sergio Aragonis made me love the man all the more. Sergio is a regular at the NCS. I'm sure he'll be in Memphis. Ah, Bad Bones! Thank you for making the decision to follow. Yeah, Sergio is great. And that's what's great about the NCS. You know, I've known 35 years I've known Sergio. just because of the National Cartoonist Society. So Bones, are you a regular with the Phoebe? Phoebe, message you my address. Oh, right. I'm not sure that I've ever done that, but my email address is not a secret, so I'll just put it up here. And when you send me an email, I'll find the Sketch Freedom URL and I'll send you that. Bad Bones 6 sends you money. My goodness. That's getting pretty rare these days, finding anybody to send money to a cartoonist. So the reason I like to make elephants purple when they are in fact quite gray is that in the newspaper, purple just kind of turns into a gray, but it's more interesting than if you made him gray. So hey, make him purple. They don't look wrong when they're purple. You just look at it and accept it and don't put any thought into it. The elephant's purple. Phoebe, the National Cartoonist Society is pretty secretive about putting their convention information online. I went to a convention probably 25 years ago in San Francisco, and they had a kind of a book signing party at a bookstore, and Jim Davis, who draws Garfield, and Sparky Schultz, who draws Peanuts, were both there. And they made the mistake of announcing it and letting the public come. And of course they all came and they mobbed Jim Davis and Sparky Schultz, but Sparky Schultz in particular. And it was unpleasant for them, and it drove them out. And so the attitude there is it's for the cartoonists and not for the public. And that decision comes from a good place. They just had the bad experience. Okay, let's give her, this looks like a good tongue color. Ooh, on the wrong layer. And let's give her some pink lips. Fingernail as well. because she's color coordinated. And then up here she can have some white. In case you're hearing motors, that's my neighbor building a house. Sorry about that. Phoebe writes, yeah, I got into a private party of around 70 people with some smooth talking from the president of our then company, and through Sergio, loved it when I shook his hand. Jim Lee was profoundly unhappy with the unsolicited greeting. I now am very careful around celebrity types. Sergio's a great guy. He'll come shake your hand. Nobody should be chasing people off of him. Yeah, probably takes me an hour to color a cartoon like this. That should be pinker. That's a little better. And hair. You can go with a kind of a standard base blonde, I think. Ooh, what did I do there? Okay. I need to finish this quick if it's going to have any chance of going to the West Coast papers before they close for the weekend. I think I might not make it, which means this cartoon's going to get short shrift over the weekend. Well, I've got a little crud going on here that I didn't notice. So let's get this crud. How did I miss this? That's from the edge of a piece of paper underneath my vellum. There, that's fixed. Okay, now I can put some shading into the elephant. Let's go for a little light shading first. This is just very light tonal stuff going on. And let's see, let's give her a little bit more even darker than that in just a few places. Too dark. Okay, and we'll give her a little bit of lighter. Just in a little bit of spots here. That's not going to look good. It needs to be even lighter than that. This needs to be bigger. Alright, that's better. Okay. Can do that to her hair as well. Give her another layer for that. Just a little bit of the light shading in the hair. Go a little bit darker. Okay, and let's do a little bit of lighter as well. So grab back to the base, lighter, okay. That's all she needs, I think. some darker purple eyes. Alrighty. Now the Donald. Let's do the same thing to Donald. So Phoebe writes, okay, Daryl Cagle, I just got a shout out, sent out the Adobe channel to you that might win a few followers. Sent out the Adobe channel. I'm not quite sure I understand that. Okay. Let's go for some lighter flesh on the Donald. Put that down here. New layer. And needs to be pretty light. A little bigger. Okay. I have to remember that within the uterus, the light source is up here to the upper left. As it is in the uterus, always got to have a light source. All of this little stuff that looks subtle in the flesh is prints out a lot less subtle in the crummy newspaper. It really does. Oh, well, thank you for that, Phoebe. I appreciate it. Okay, that's the dark flesh color. And we need to make that fairly light. 22. Let's give him some darkening in places. This whole arm needs to be a good deal darker. There's only so much you can do before it starts to look overworked in newspapers. Newspapers are not a friendly printing environment. That's probably as much as I should do to him. Thanks, Phoebe. I appreciate it. Thanks for the shout out. Okay, let's get some pink. Go with 0, 40. That looks good. And put this on another layer in case I don't like it. And 22, that's a lot for pink. Now, first I want to make his butt pinker. Oh, isn't that good with a pinker butt? Then you want his ear to be pinker because he's a baby. And then a little bit more pink on his trumpy cheek. Just a little baby trumpy cheek. Oh, he's got pink little trumpy cheeks. Baby trumpy cheek. That's looking good. I think he'll need just a little bit more extra dark. Right under the chin. Yeah, Phoebe, we got to meet in Memphis. Come to the NCS. Meet me in Memphis. I'll buy you a beer. I think that's about as much flesh tone as I want to have on going on with the Trump. That's a little bit heavy right there. All right, his hair. We can give him a little bit of, let's say, 0, 20, 20, 20, 50. All right, that's a little bit of hair base. So we'll go with very light hair base. Oh, he needs white, doesn't he? Because it's going to be coming through blue. Can't have that. In fact, we need to do the whole thing. Let's do that. We'll go, where do I want to go? Let's go here. Uterus layer. Oops. That's the mistake I made before. Let's give him a good hair base. Now we can come in with this extra base. Now let's give him a little bit of yellow texture. I'm going to put that on another layer. Coming up with a lot of layers on this one. I like to put the yellow in his hair in a sponge texture. Because the hair is like a cloud. It doesn't really have substance. It's like a plasma. It kind of hovers. In fact, it's so well aerated. I think that if he was doing a Pepsi commercial like Michael Jackson, the hair would just poof, flash ignite, because it's so light, and it's just a little poof. A little bit more orange. But I don't want to just give him orange hair, because the hair is kind of a beast. It's its own beast. Oops, that was an error. It should be this one. That's why that was. Oops, that's too dark. Opacity down here. That's what I want. That. The little bits of orange, textury orange. That's the Trump we want. Yeah, I think that's it. Now let's give him a pink uterus. So that will be 0, 40, 10. How's that looking? Phoebe writes, I'll apply for membership. I'm hoping concept art qualifies. I have to have 2 letters of recommendation from NCS members. If you're up for one of those, I'd love it. Not sure if I know any others personally. Sure, I'll give you one. And I'm a past president. They should pay attention to me. Oops, that's not what I wanted. No, they don't want concept art. They want to know that everything's been a real job you did for somebody else. So if you're hired to do concept art, I guess like on a movie or something, that's okay. That's kind of harsh, isn't it? That pink. A little bit lighter. Because it's going to print darker. There, that looks good. Go with that. We'll get you a second recommendation, Phoebe. That shouldn't be a problem. The point is that the NCS is for professionals, and you know there's 1,000 aspiring cartoonists for every one professional cartoonist, and they wanna make sure that it's professionals talking shop rather than students asking what kind of pencil you use. You know, if you're Phoebe, if you're employed as a concept artist, that's all that matters. The point is that that you getting paid for doing your drawings. So it's not whether it's published; it's whether it's professional work, a paid assignment. So you're good. Okay, that's the Donald. Now, what color should I make her dress? Who do you work for, Phoebe? Well, I don't want to make it pink because I've got the interior of her uterus, which is already pink, and that needs to stand out. So and I don't want it to be purple. Could be more yellow. Could be green. I could make it teal. That would be kind of interesting, huh? With the purple. Let me do that. Let's go for teal. So 20, 0, 20. How's that for a dress color? If I don't like it, I'll change it. Maybe a little more blue. %. Yeah, that's not bad. I'm good with that. ZeniMax Online Services, working on an MMO for over 8 years. The Elder Scrolls Online. What is MMO? Yeah, the NCS has long been courting animation artists, particularly here in California. And of course, you know, all of their work is corporate. It's hard to know what any one of them does, since they work as such a team that they don't even have samples they can say their own are their own. They just say, well, I was this, I did this and that and the, and you say, oh yeah, oh. Okay, yeah, I think the teal works. I needed something to set apart the purple and the pink. I may come back and give her polka dots. Give her a little bit of lights and darks as well. Although if I do polka dots, I'd probably get away with just the polka dots, huh? Pearls will probably just be white. Gotta remember to color her ring. I could give her matching shoes. That'll make the shoes command less attention, which is probably a good thing. I don't want you looking down at her shoes. I only want the shoes to be there because it looks wrong if she doesn't have feet. Hey, Negu Supreme, thank you so much for following. I appreciate it. Phoebe writes, we have many thousands of people playing our game at any given moment, sharing the same virtual world space, hence massively multiplayer online. Oh, very cool. Yeah, that's not a problem for the NCS, that you work on a team. So I would say just send them some screenshots and say I was the character designer for this, storyboard for that, art direction, well, not art direction, they want to know that you're drawing things. Okay, I think I may come back and give her those polka dots. You know what? I'm not going to. I'm just going to put a little texture on there. Just blocking in some little bit of stuff to go on the shoes. Just needs something. It's probably she needs. Now let's get a little bit of texture on there. That's all I needed, just a little bit of texture. That's probably all she needs in the dress, huh? I don't think I need polka dots. I'll do the pearls. Three and a half hours so far. Okay, pearls. They can be entirely white. Miss Piggy pearls. Just to hide that junction between her puppet head and her puppet body. I think that works. And let's give her, I'm being bold about these shoes, aren't I? Okay. Now, what do I need? Let's do the speech balloons in a light yellow. That draws attention to them without making them overwhelmingly the center of attention. But I do want you to read the speech balloons and not overlook them. You notice I don't use lots of browns and grays. If I use neutral kinds of colors, I will actually get calls from editors saying, stop using the browns. The browns print muddy in the newspaper. Now, often when I do these speech balloons, I leave them flat. You'd think they would be flat, but sometimes I like to give them a little bit of spongy texture. Again at the top because we've got our light source. And I could give it a little bit more yellow at the bottom likewise. Sorry, bumping the microphone there. I hear nothing, but to you I know that's loud. All right. Now the question is, am I done? I might be done. done with the color. Now I also need to do black and white. Oh, don't forget the ring. I asked you to, guys, to not let me forget the ring. Ha 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 ha. And you came through. I didn't forget the ring. Oh, Visual Jamie. Nice to see you here. I haven't seen you here before. And Mayor Wolf. Oh, nice to see you here. You're new. Let's pop in close and do her ring. Oh, look, I'm messing up her fingers now. I see that I'm close. Okay, ring. I think just yellow is good. Oh, thank you so much for following. Wolf Design, very good. A little bit of white. Just got raided. I'm not sure what the raided means. It's okay. Okay, I'm gonna save this. Hey! Sea Rope, thank you so much for following. That's very nice. And Clements Ross. Very cool. Oh, I haven't done her lace at the bottom of her dress. Oh, and John Les Studio. Boy, I think... oh, rated by another channel, another artist sending his viewers here. That's so nice. Excellent. All these followers. What a deal. So cool. My goodness, one after the other. Finny Binny. Thank you for following. I appreciate it. Oh, even more. Mazarthi, Babel Singa. Very nice. Thank you so much. And Notopoli. My goodness, most followers I've gotten. Johnny Studio? It is a beautiful community here. In case you don't know me, I'm an editorial cartoonist, and I'm actually America's most widely syndicated editorial cartoonist. My work appears in just about 850 subscribing newspapers, which is about half of America's daily paid circulation newspapers. And I believe I'm the only editorial cartoonist who does streaming. I'm the brave first guy to try it. Oh, Johnny Studio. So, oh, and I didn't get this. So when I finish this, I'll send it out, and it'll be emailed to the newspapers. It'll show up on our site, KegelCartoons.com and PoliticalCartoons.com, where the subscribing newspapers will grab it. This one is not going to get reprinted that much, just because it mentions abortion, you know, and editors are timid bastards. Oh, thanks for the kind words. I'm a badass. Ah. Yeah, it's a village. Shoot, 28 people now. That's great. Um. So. So this one won't get that reprinted because the editors are just they're timid bastards. Well, if you guys are all gonna be here, and I've got the most people watching ever and all following, I'm gonna give her polka dots. Cause what the hell? Let's take a little more time that I've got more people watching. 26, let's go 44, 66, now let's go 40 and 40, 4 and 4, okay, I'm gonna do a new polka dot layer because I think she needs some polka dots. Oh, not a pulley. All right, we'll do polka dots. I think I'm gonna put in no. All right, let's try that. Let's see how I like this for polka dots. Good enough. I don't want to draw too much attention to it, but it seems like the dress is a great big blank thing where nothing's happening, and so it needs to have something happening. I should have made these more transparent. I'm going to do that. Let's make it a little darker and a lot less opaque. Oh, hey, thank you so much, Mayor Wolf. Yeah, the polka dots are silly. It needed polka dots. I was being lazy not to give it polka dots. And I wouldn't have given it polka dots unless all of you folks showed up here and started following, and you're so nice. She would have gone without the polka dots. See, so you have an influence. Oh, and thank you so much, Pomegranate. Oh. I made an error there. I have to come back and fix. So hey, thank you for the raid. I'm still so new at this. I don't know anything about raids. So I was saying this is for newspapers, and when I send this out, it's going to be going out at the end of when I finish the drawing, which is a bad time to send out a cartoon because the newspapers will have closed their weekend editions at the end of the workday on Friday. So the only paper that might consider printing this is going to be in Hawaii. And then it's going to be old on Monday. But that said, this is a cartoon that is going to be hard to get printed anyway, just because it mentions abortion, and editors are so timid now that the cartoons they pick are really tame. And the reason I'm in so many papers is that I have a package service that packages a bunch of editorial cartoonists together. It's cheap, and newspapers are in financial distress. There, I think that works. So they get lots of cartoons to choose from. Why am I so adorable? Noda Poli. I'm guessing that you're female, but I have no reason to know that. Oh, hey, thank you so much, William Lloyd. That's very nice. Let's make that 100%. Get rid of these spots that I made. Or was that another one that I missed? Okay. Yeah, that's better with the polka dots, huh? It needed that kind of a texture. Otherwise, it was just so friggin'... Nah, it needed the texture. I think it could use a little bit more texture. So, hey, thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much, Phoebe, for soliciting people to come visit. Alright, that is wrong. That's what I needed. I'm going to put on another layer in case I don't like it. So, get a little bit of paper texture in her, so it's looking like I did this on paper. Here. Here, on the top of her trunk, here, just sponge texture to lighten it up, make it not look so flat. So I say I'm in 850 papers, but it's because it's the whole group that's in 850 papers, so all of them can make the same claim. Okay. All right, I've saved. I'm going to save a copy. And this will go... I'm going to save this to send out as a JPEG. This will be I can't spell Trump without rump. I guess not. Alright, this is cartoon number 1105, and it's going to be saved as a JPEG at 9 quality, and that should be the right size. Oh, you're leaving me, Phoebe. Hey, thank you so much for soliciting all these nice new followers. I really appreciate that. And send me that email, and I'll email you a copy of the NCS brochure so you can get the information on the convention, because you should definitely come to the Cartoonist Convention. All right, now I need to make this black and white. Let's see what it looks like in grayscale. Half the papers print in color, half the paper's print in grayscale, and I don't want them to take my color cartoon and just make it into grayscale, because it's not as artful as if I make some changes on it. Hey, thank you so much, Natapoli. Yeah, I'm you know, being the only editorial cartoonist who does this, I feel like I've got this obligation for proof of concept, if it doesn't work for me, other guys aren't going to try it. So let's step backwards, and I want to take layer 24. I want to make that yellow. Let's select color range. Not quite what I wanted. I want to make these speech balloons white for the black and white version. Now let's select the color range, and we'll fill. And that's got some yellow stuff going on too, doesn't it? Take that out. Oop, that was my polka dots. Alright, I'm going to have to come in here, and I forget where I leave things on the layers. See you later, Phoebe. Thanks for everything. We'll get you set up with the NCS. Oops. Alright, that's making sense. This bit of yellow texture I put in there has to go for the black and white. Otherwise, it's just going to look like a cruddy error. You can't just take a color cartoon and make it grayscale and have it work in black and white. Sorry, stylus is bumping the microphone. Alright, so there's that. Now I need to find elephant purple layer. Oh, not a pulley. You're the tomato. Alright, select color range. Let's do that. And let's lighten her up. I can also use a little bit more. Oh, that's better for black and white. It gives me more contrast as well, which is good. I can do the same thing on the Trump flesh. Let's take the Trump flesh. Oh, I gotta remember to save this as black and white. Noto. Very good. Okay. Now let's get the Trump flesh, and we will lighten that up a bit. Now I need to do that manually, don't I? Okay, so we'll come back up here to the top. Soft. So I'm lightening him up because in the gray scale he needs to be lighter. Just didn't work with him as dark as he was. And I can do with more contrast in the grayscale as well. So Noto, are you a cartoonist? Alright, I probably need to do the same thing with the whole elephant, don't I? Because she's looking dark. Lighten her all up. I've got the microphone here right in front of my face and I keep bumping it with the stylus in case you're wondering what all that is. Well, I tell you, I draw everything in on a piece of paper in black and white with a pencil, and all I do on the computer is color. But I tell you, I don't paint anymore. I used to paint all the time, and now that I color on the computer, I never do. I haven't picked up a brush for years. Alright, let's save that. Give her a little more contrast in her hair. Now let's see how she looks in black and white. Oh, that's better. Trump can still be lighter. That helps. I guess that's good. I'll go with, you know, she needs a little more background texture because it's going to flatten. Let's do that. Put that on another layer in case I don't like it as well. Actually, I'll do that in the background. Let's do it back here. On another layer in case I don't like it. I don't do a good job keeping track of my layers. 14%, alright. This is what I wanted. A little more texture in the background. Notapoli writes, I only draw very simple stuff and I'm still learning. I haven't touched art in 6 years though. I got back into it because of Twitch Creative. You know, I quite like Twitch Creative. It's a charming community. And I really would like to have my favorite cartoonists all have their drawing boards online, so I could watch what everybody's working on at the same time. I'd have like 5 windows open of all my favorite heroes. But you know, I talk to my cartoonist friends and I say, hey, I'm doing this live streaming now every time I do a cartoon. and they say, how much does that pay you? And they say, well, you don't get paid. Why do you do that? And they just need a little bit more of a success, getting a bigger audience, something that would impress an editor, I think, that they're not quite getting. Now, do I need more contrast with the uterus in the dress? You know, I think I do. It usually doesn't take this much futzing around to make color thing work as a black and white, but this one is, because it's just all grayed down to pretty much the same tonal value. Okay, I think that works well enough for black and white. I'm gonna stick with it. Excuse me. Noto writes, would you consider going to TwitchCon? This year's only the second one. Are you writing to me or to someone else? TwitchCon. I would love to see more cartoonists on Twitch. Seems like a natural thing because you know, the time it takes to do a cartoon is kind of natural for sitting down in the afternoon and doing your work and starting with nothing and ending up with an actual product where you can see at the end that's the conclusion of the work for the day. That's nice. All right, I think this is done. So I'm going to flatten. Okay. I'm also going to go in here to the black and select all the black and fill with hundred. Oh, I don't know about TwitchCon, Noto. I hadn't thought about that being something that creative people went to rather than just a gamers thing, huh? All right, did I get that? If you have more information, oh, it didn't work. Let's try it again. Sometimes Photoshop is very resistant to changing blacks. Now, oh, it's locked. That's why it didn't work. My fault. Fill 100%. Now let's see if that worked. So Noto, send me an email. This is my email address. Not a secret email address. And let me know what you suggest. Why the hell am I not getting that to be 100% black? Where is TwitchCon? let's try it 3 or 4 times. Sometimes that helps. So I'm not going to be able to achieve it. I think that's the best I'm going to get. TwitchCom. Oh, I'll take a look. Oops. Put that on the other screen. San Diego, September 30th. I could do that. I'll be around. So what do you do in the Twitch creative community at TwitchCon? Is there like a place where you sit at tables? This cartoon should be about right for my file size limit. So this will be cartoon number 1105B, Trump abortion 400 DPI gray. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I've got that. And I've got this one. So this is really my end point. This is the end of the show, folks. So this is the Trump abortion cartoon. It's going to go out to newspapers immediately after I'm done here, and I think I'm all finished. So hey, Visual Jamie, Nodo, thank you for all of that info, and yeah, I will look at it. I quite enjoy Twitch and the creative community on Twitch. It's really very nice, and thank you for following, all you guys. Well, cool. Oh, Genosis, thank you so much for following. I appreciate it. I hate to quit at a time when there's all this nice activity, but I finished the art. Keep an eye out for me, because I do 2 or 3 of these a week, and I will be back. And I appreciate it all so much. And I will talk to you guys soon. So, hey, many thanks for following. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time, and thank you again. And I'll consider going to the TwitchCon. Thanks again.